Mike, what's going on with the market?
Well, there's been a lot of news going on in the markets, literally all over the place, as different companies kind of shudder and shake relative to the failure of the FTX system. And so there's a lot going on. But, I was trying to dig a little deeper into what's really been going on here. And, it seems as though there's not a lot of panic that is happening. Some companies are reorganizing and so forth, but I read an interesting article that I hope we can talk about today, and it gets into the concept of a store of value, how that we use different vehicles for our future wealth. And I want to kind of touch on that a little bit, but in the meantime, this article was pointing out to me, this guy was saying, stocks have plunged, fallen. There's unrest in China that's growing. Another cryptocurrency company is worried about people filing for bankruptcy. We've had the world's largest has been relatively unfazed by this. As a matter of fact, it has gained 2% up to about 16.5 right now. So what they're indicating here is one of the things that's really important as we look into the future is stability. How we can weather these storms, and when you realize stocks have been taking just huge hits, and there's now concerns that if inflation continues or countries devalue their currency, bonds may suffer as well. Real estate is looking now at taking a deep dive. With the interest rates going up, the real estate market is in trouble. Loan companies are laying off. Real estate people are looking around for other things to do, and this market is changing rapidly before us. Now, with all this trouble, the really interesting factor is what's going on with cryptocurrencies like Ethereum. Ethereum, as of Tuesday, was up 7%. Dogecoin is up back over a dime, and other cryptocurrencies have been holding their own. When we look into the future, what we're going to be able to do in a competitive market for keeping our wealth in place, it may well be that we're seeing indications here that Bitcoin is not a weak player in what's going on. It has actually gained size and substance and is now coming into its own with a lot more potential for growth. So the enthusiasts have not given up on what's going to happen next with Bitcoin. So I think this is going to be an interesting time for us over the next 2, 3, 4 years, where really the digital currency is going to take us, because it seems in everybody's mind that the financial markets as they are being shaken, and there's something else that's going to emerge here. And obviously for anybody who's been reading on each of these items of financial stability, cryptocurrency is likely to be the winner in all of this, but there'll be some smoke, there'll be some fire, there'll be some upsets, there'll be some downs, there'll be some ups, but at the end of the day, which one is going to be a greater store of value? How will you protect your wealth? Cryptocurrency may provide that answer.
All right, well, that's a great example of what's going on in the markets, and the markets are moving steady. Bitcoin's been around $16,000, $17,000 for the last couple of weeks. Now we're approaching December 1st, and we've been telling everybody that anything under 20,000 is a good buy for crypto. Last year anything under 30, 35 was a good buy. But you want to look at it as a 10-year plan. You want to make a 10-year plan to buy a little bit of crypto every week, every month, and build up a retirement program with it. And we have a token, a digital crypto token called the 10-year retirement. And that's very interesting. So there's a lot of ways to put your money into crypto long term. Don't put your last money in. Don't put your food money in, your Christmas money. Put your extra money in. Crypto normally grows at 10, 20, 30% a year. So you should be okay that way. Banks are only paying 0.5% a year, and we've got inflation over 20% a year. So that's a problem. So you got to look at all the factors. the inflation that's running, gas prices in California are double. That's bad. You've got a lot of inflation. They're talking about the food prices are high. Lots of problems with shopping at high prices. Restaurants. So you've got to put in all the factors as to your 10-year plan as to how you're going to put some money into crypto and grow your crypto. Your dollar is not going to grow, but crypto is going to grow. Right now you got about 150 million people using crypto around the world, and that number is going to grow up to 200 million people, then 300 million people, then 500 million. And the more people that learn to start using crypto for their shopping, for their business, for expenses, for sending money around the world, that's also going to increase the price as the demand increases. We've got the Bitcoin radio token. It's only $1. We expect the Bitcoin radio token to go up in March to $1.50 and go up next year. So we're very excited about the Bitcoin radio token growing. And we're opening up the Bitcoin radio token into Europe. It's going to be opening up. So there's a lot of opportunities there. I'm going to be going to the Philippines and talking to hundreds of people at my success training, millionaire success training in the Philippines. And then in Vietnam, I'll be talking about business and basically all over the world. We're growing. We're here on 11:50 a.m. The Patriot here in Los Angeles. We welcome our listeners from KFI 640 a.m. KFI. And we welcome our listeners all over Florida. We're all over Florida on 10 radio stations. We're in Dallas, Fort Worth. We're excited about that. So we're opening up 2 more markets in December. We're opening up the Las Vegas area. We're opening up Phoenix, Philippines. More will be the Vietnam. So 4 new markets, 2 countries. Very excited about that. And Bitcoin Coach Mike, you've been working on our book, Secrets of Millionaires. Why don't you tell everybody about the book and what they can expect from the book?
The book is a real interesting read because it starts taking, I think, a novel approach to what people think, how we approach wealth as a whole. And I think the insights that you put into this is really important. But for the most part, I think you've been a living example of this as I've been reading more and more of the history that you've had. And this is coming out in the next book that you'll be developing. You've got a huge history, starting at 8 years old or younger, where you've been able to make money and learn about money and grow and gain the wisdom that few people have had. So I really think that the books are going to be something that people want to use as a way to learn more about what millionaire status is all about, the millionaire mindset, but also to understand that there are some core principles that they need to deal with. And some of those principles, most of those principles, are about and how that you approach this whole market. So I think anybody who wants to become wealthy, who wants to understand how money works, they need to get hold of these books. And there's going to be a foundation for even our training centers. So as we have these training centers, they have the foundation for being able to talk about, learn about, and discover how wealth is actually made. So it's at 1-8333 Bitcoin. That's 1-8333 to get your BRT tokens. You can get some information about books. You can get some information about seminars that are coming up, because there may be one happening near you in the very near future.
Ken, what do we want to talk about next? We want to clear up for those of you that are new what we're talking about. So what we're talking about is global banking systems with Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America. All of those kind of financial systems, Western Union, MoneyGram, are all digital internet money systems. Western Union is digital internet money. Digital internet money. Visa, MasterCard, digital internet money. All the bank wires are digital internet money. And what is Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? Digital internet money. Bitcoin or Ethereum coin or the BRT radio token is Visa and MasterCard money does not go up in value. Western Union and MoneyGram money does not go up in value. If it's $1,000 today, it'll be a year from now. But Bitcoin and cryptocurrency does go up in value like a commodity. People buy and sell, price. People buy and sell, the prices go up and down. People don't buy and sell dollars, and the price in the normal home does not go up and down. If you have a $10 bill in your kitchen today, it will be a $10 bill tomorrow. It will be a $10 bill next week. Maybe it buys less money. Not go up in value. Digital money, computer money does go up in value. So Bitcoin, about how people can have their money grow with digital money, with crypto money, token, how I can buy low and sell high.
I read an interesting article by Michael Saylor. Him and Kathy Wood seems to be some of the best advice that we can see out there. They've been around a long time. They don't get shaken by what's going on. They have a clear vision of the future. And recently, Michael Saylor was talking about a store of value. And to the point that you were asking, wow, this last week, the Dow Jones average shed about 1.5%. The cryptocurrency was actually making some gains against their earlier losses. So where will you be in 5 or 10 years from now, depending on which asset you choose? A lot of us think in terms of real estate as being the stable place to put your money. And it's a good idea. However, it's a very fluctuating idea. We can find ourselves in a market where you can't sell. We can find ourselves in some high-priced city where taxes begin to crowd us out. Rules and regulations begin to make it less profitable to own property in these areas. So real estate in and of itself is not without its own kind of trouble. When we think in terms of gold, the other hard asset that is out there, for in 10 years, I was still around when Nixon shut the gold window Americans to own gold. And numerous countries have confiscated the treasures and the wealth and the gold of people, and it's not as though that can't happen again. Where will we find ourselves in the future? One of the things about any asset, particularly something that when you have something that you would say is a store of value, is how does it compete with other asset classes? Whether it's real estate, whether it's stock, whether it's gold, silver, precious stones, you name what it. And the idea then that we've talked about so many times in these discussions, Robert, is that we have a fixed number of tokens that are out there and a growing population who is starting to use them. And therefore, the law of supply and demand is as sure as the sun's going to come up tomorrow. And we realize that because of that law, because demand is going to become greater, but the supply is going to be fixed, unlike inflation, print over again, that the concept of a store of value, or the idea of how will it compete over the next several years against other asset classes. The feeling is, and I think Michael Saylor was correct, that we are going to see just the natural laws beginning to take place, and things will sort themselves out in due course. It can be shaky now. That is not indicative of where we're going to be 10 years from now. We need to take a look at this, and your suggestion of beginning to dollar cost average, $100 this week, $100 next week, starting to put your money to work in an area that we telegraph or believe is going to be a growing market simply because it has to happen. So my confidence is sometimes bruised, but it is not shaken. I believe that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these other good tokens and coins are going to be the commodity of tomorrow. And even now, Bank of America is dealing with XRP as a vehicle for transferring around the world. There's so much happening that you can't hardly miss the good news, except that you spend all your time listening only to the. So get in touch with us at 1-8333-BITCOIN. That's 1-833-COIN. And we'd love to be able to give you some information, show you how to get some of the tokens that you can put aside, show you how to get an education on this, show you how to get connected to the seminars that we're putting on, maybe get a book with us. So make sure you get in touch with us, and that was 1-8333-BITCOIN. And we'll be able to show you more and more about some of the dynamic information that Robert is bringing forward.
Our website, the BitcoinRadioShow.online, and listen to past radio shows and learn about what the market is doing. Right now, the Bitcoin's 17,000. My prediction is it will stay low for the next few, maybe even the next few months, because of the fallout from FTX, which is a global crypto exchange, which is very similar to a global bank. They had a $15 billion loss and $15 billion meltdown. And when you think about how much money $15 billion is, let me just give you an example. When you think about Americans in LA, and we've got Bank of America, and we've got Chase Bank, and we've got Wells Fargo Bank, the average small bank in California has a few thousand members, and they run a few $100 million through the bank, maybe a few $100 million. When you look at an exchange like FTX, they had millions of people, millions of clients working with billions of dollars. And so they went down $15 billion in the last few weeks. That's a big, some people are going to lose their money. So we're very excited about that. We've got the Bitcoin book coming out in a few months, how to get rich, how to make money with Bitcoin. We also have the secrets of millionaires coming out. Call 1-833 to get a free published copy of either Robert Thomas and Bitcoin Coach Mike. And now I would like Bitcoin Coach Mike to tell everybody how to go to their Telegram, register on the exchange, Global Coin, exchange.co, and get some free cryptocurrency.
Whenever you want to get involved with cryptocurrency, it is not as difficult or familiar with something called a mobile app. A mobile app is something you download with whatever program you're dealing with. Well, we use an app for the Global Coin Exchange, and that app is called the Telegram Messenger. You can find it on the Google Store, you can find it on the Apple Store. It's easy to download. It has what looks like a paper airplane for an icon, but that's a messenger app that you would download. Once you've downloaded it, it's like many of the other messaging systems that are out there, but you'll type in the word exchange.co. It's probably going to find it for you. You start typing it in. Just don't go for one that sounds like it. Make sure it's the Global Coin Exchange.co. Once you click on that, it'll then make that part of your collection of names, and it'll then bring up a screen, and it'll ask you at the bottom if you want to start. You press the start button. It'll ask you several questions because we need to know to communicate with you. So you'll put your first and last name in. You'll put the city that you live in, the state, the country, your phone number, your email. There'll be several questions like that just so they can make sure they're connecting with you. And after that is done, you'll see the screen will now flip over, and you'll see a list of 20, 30 different that are available for anybody. One of them will be the